The historical context. Erzsebet Bathory was born on August 7, 1560, the daughter of Georgi and Anna Bathory, in Nyírbátor, northeastern Hungary. There are tales of genetic and mental illnesses within the family genealogy due to marriages between blood relatives, a widespread custom at the time. Erzsebet was a girl of rare beauty, but she also distinguished herself for her intelligence. From preserved letters that have reached us, we know of her mastery of 4 languages, in addition to her mother tongue Latin, German, Slovak and Greek. In reality, not much else is known about her adolescence. However, popular and handed-down stories speak of a condition of suffering, from epileptic seizures to mood swings and migraines, since childhood. The plot of the legend regarding the Blood Countess, who went down in history as the most prolific serial killer of all time, is enriched with gruesome episodes, in which Erzsebet would be the protagonist both as a witness and as an executioner, the public execution of a young man accused of kidnapping children reduced to slavery, and an episode in which her cousin ordered her to cut off the ears and noses of commoners guilty of rebellion. Marriage and the discovery of darkness. In 1573, Erzsebet was informed of her engagement to Ferenc Nadasdy. The marriage 2 years later sealed the bond between 2 of the most powerful families of the time, who boasted, among other things, large estates in Transylvania and throughout the Kingdom of Hungary. According to local sources, the couple reportedly had 6 children. Regarding the Blood Countess, historians today acknowledge interesting discrepancies between the documented biography of Erzsebet Bathory and the legend that grew around this historical figure. For instance, there is no evidence of a young child kidnapper being sewn into a horse's stomach, nor that Erzsebet gave birth to an illegitimate child, nor that she participated in or was initiated into orgiastic rites by her Aunt Clara. From historical records, however, we know that Erzsebet was, much more likely, the victim of a conspiracy aimed at targeting the family's power by interested relatives. Nevertheless, legend has prevailed over history, so let us retrace the myth. Association with Dracula and vampirism. According to some sources, her figure might have inspired Bram Stoker for the novel Dracula, 1897, but there is no certainty about this lineage. However, Elizabeth Bathory has over the years been associated with the famous vampire, earning monikers such as the Blood Countess and Countess Dracula. So much so that in cinema, some B-movie productions have drawn inspiration from this connection, such as Peter Sasdy's Countess Dracula and Lee Scott's Dracula's Curse. According to the Encyclopedia of the Vampire, the living dead in myth, legend and popular culture, the Countess would pour the blood of young virgins to maintain her youthful beauty. She certainly inflicted unusual tortures on the servant girls, to the extent that, together with her maid Anna Darvulia, she killed more than 650 girls, brutalizing young girls at the point of death. The importance she attributed to blood. Some of the tools she used were pins that she inserted under the victim's nails. Or she would bite them until they bled, and often had relations with the women she brutalized. The torture almost always took place while the young women were naked. The stories that she bathed in the blood of virgins to maintain her youth were documented years after her death and are considered unreliable. But the ritual use of blood was not new. In ancient Rome, people drank the blood of gladiators killed in the arena to transmit power, while to invigorate the old and prolong their lives, Marsilio Ficino, as late as 1479, suggested making them drink the blood of healthy and strong young people. Headaches were treated by pouring wild rooster blood on the patient's head. In ancient Egypt, blood transfusions were performed. These treatments involving the use of blood were also given to the pharaoh to prevent aging. The search for eternal life. A widespread opinion suggests that Erzsebet Bathory's atrocities were caused by her excessive search for eternal life, wanting to deceive time and avoid the defects inevitably due to the succession of seasons. A search for beauty, or the maintenance of awareness and youthfulness of the flesh that finds in blood its principal element. Blood is indeed directly or indirectly involved in many historical rituals, linked to ancient religions or black magic. The myth of eternal youth often returns in many novels, and has probably obsessed many characters. Among the latter, a special place must be reserved for this woman who, if her deeds are confirmed, as doubts still persist about the authenticity of the stories even though her beauty and cruelty seem indeed ratified, has transformed her madness into a visionary and brutal lifestyle. Eternal youth and not necessarily immortality, but an obstinate search for a season of life in which strength and beauty cultivated the flesh. The trial and conviction. Erzsebet Bathory's victims cried out for vengeance, while both commoners and nobility demanded justice for the atrocities committed by the so-called Blood Countess. A serial killer before the term was even coined, brutal and merciless, she may have acted with the connivance of her husband and perhaps others. The Blood Countess made the fatal mistake of abducting daughters from noble families, which led to her downfall. The trial took place in January 1611, with the defense already employing the argument of the woman's mental incapacity. However, after numerous testimonies from servants and survivors, she was convicted for the deaths of less than 100 victims, although history attributes more than 600 to her. The sentence was a matter of debate, as someone so noble and powerful could not be treated like just anyone else. She was thus walled up in a wing of her residence, with every access barred and small slits for food, until she eventually let herself die of starvation. The narrative of her punishment weaves together the themes of justice, privilege, and the grim fascination with her crimes that has persisted through the centuries.